Well, hello good people, and welcome back to the channel. In just a few moments, you'll get to hear my thoughts and feelings on episode 4 of Ready to Love DC. Now on my last review, I posted my locks for elimination and I felt that at least 2 of them will be going home by the end of this episode. Was I right? Stay tuned to find out. The episode begins with Nephew Tommy meeting with all the men. He lets them know that they have the power to eliminate one of the women by the end of the week, and he challenges each of the guys to get outside of their comfort zone while getting to know the women. Frank and Aisha have the first scene together. Frank invites Aisha to play pool and he shows her a thing or two about the game. Frank also wastes no time letting Aisha know that he is very interested in her. And while it seems as if Aisha has some interest in Frank, I don't think she's ready to move quite as fast as he is. Nevertheless, later on in their date, they go in a photo booth and they take pictures. Frank tries to get a kiss from Aisha and she gives him her cheek to kiss. The cheek on her face, of course. I see some chemistry between the two of them, but I think it's too early to tell how far they'll make it. We then get a scene of Tyrone and Carrie. Carrie makes it known that she wants to talk about the elephant in the room, and Tyrone wastes no time telling her why he's no longer interested in her. While Tyrone uses some poor choice of words to describe why he's no longer interested in Carrie, she doesn't do herself any favors by cutting him off and getting offended that he's no longer interested in her. They both agree that it's best to see different people, and that's the end of that. We then get a double date between Corey, Cornelius, Courtney, and Camille. They meet up at a skating ring, and Corey takes Courtney skating while Cornelius and Camille skate for a little bit before sitting down. During Camille and Cornelius' one-on-one, Camille is essentially acting crazy and possessive, getting jealous at him for looking at Courtney and asking about the brothers' finances. I know I'll get some heat for this, but in my opinion, Camille is a prime example of how pretty privilege exists with certain women. Because if she looked busted, no guy would go through the motions and deal with her antics. However, Cornelius is doing so because he sees what every other guy sees, which is a nice pair of yams on Camille. Courtney and Corey then have their one-on-one. When they finish skating, Courtney voices her concerns with Corey, trying to talk to all the women there. Corey is getting inside Courtney's personal space during this conversation, and surprisingly she doesn't mind. Corey is seen talking to Courtney in a normal fashion, and I couldn't help but look on like a proud father. This wasn't the weird, goofy Corey that we saw over the first 3 episodes. Corey even surprised Courtney with a bouquet of flowers. How long will this version of Corey last? We shall see. Walter and Mumin then have their one-on-one, and it's at some sort of botanical gardens. During this time, I can't help but admire how sexy Mumin looks. She's acting very feminine and flirtatious with Walter, and they form a deeper connection as they talk about issues with their own fathers. Walter then seals the deal by giving Mumin a piggyback ride during the end of their date. Dante and Phil have a double workout date with Shiloh and Carrie, and I must say, Shiloh and Carrie were wearing spandex, and Shiloh was looking thicker than week-old oatmeal. At the conclusion of the workout, Phil asks Shiloh for a one-on-one. During their one-on-one, they have surface-level conversation while exchanging sensual energy. It seems like they're developing some sort of connection, but how far will that connection go? We shall see. I wish the same could be said for Dante and Carrie. Carrie is coming off a little too forward and not very tactful when talking to Dante. As a result, Dante isn't really feeling her conversation, and the scene cuts to black. We then get a scene with Naeem and Zadia as they have a date at a bar, and Naeem is learning how to make a cocktail. There is heavy flirting going on, and I'm very confident in saying that Naeem and Zadia will make it deep into the show unless something crazy happens. I consider the two of them to be this season's Chris and Amber from last season. We then see Frank and Tasia have their date. They're at a bar and Frank makes Tasia one of his drinks. Tasia looks amazing in this scene, by the way. Frank makes it known to Tasia that he wants to get to know her, but Tasia does herself no favors by only talking about her job. Frank eventually has enough of the conversation and the date is over. Nephew Tommy then meets back with all the men by the end of the week and he asks about their connections. The men go one by one and share who they're feeling and who they're not feeling. When it's time for the men to talk about who they're not feeling, multiple men name Carrie and Tasia in their bottom 2. Surprise, surprise. So Cornelius meets with Tasia to break the news to her. He tells her that she's in the bottom this week, but she's still ready to love. Tasia seems in denial about why she was picked in the bottom, which further lets me know that she will be going home by the next elimination for women. Naeem then meets with Carrie, and he lets her know why she's gotta go. Carrie mentions how she didn't get to connect with half the guys, but I'm certain that it wouldn't have mattered either way. I'm proud of Carrie for leaving the show with grace. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this episode a 5. While it was amazing to look at all the women, the episode was a little too predictable for me. And by seeing the previews for next week's episode, I'm all but certain that Corey will be the next to go home. But we shall see. So this marks the end of my review, but let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reply to each and every comment. So until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.